An arsenal to cover a broad spectrum in firearms use. That's what we're going to talk about today. I've talked quite a bit about a basic battery. What is a basic battery? What should you have in your basic battery? This is beyond that. Not just a basic battery, but an arsenal. That's what we're going to talk about today, if that interests you. Welcome to the podcast. Hopefully, welcome back to Gunfighter Life, where we talk about guns, ballistics, tactics, ammunition, tactical to hunting, the right way with God Almighty at the center, biblical, Judeo-Christian values, and real-world first-hand experience. I am blessed to serve you as host. First and foremost, I am a Christian. Also, military, law enforcement, private security contracting, competition shooter, avid hunter, firearms instructor, and a bunch of other stuff, bio bullet points in the show notes. Blessed be the Lord my rock, who trains my hands for war and fingers for battle. Okay, so this is not exactly the question I got asked on Patreon, but it's very akin to, very similar to. I thought, honestly, it would make a better episode if I tweaked it. Again, I've talked a bit about a basic battery. I've talked about it here. I've talked about it on the Survival Podcast, which is a podcast I'm blessed to be an expert council member on with people like Ron Paul and others. This is not that. I'm going to try to pick 3 really good firearms in several different categories, maybe different categories than you're used to. Let us start off with hunting rifles. Actually, let's start off with fighting rifles. Let's start off with 3. I'm going to try and keep this to 3 in a category. 3 fighting rifles. If I was going to have 3 fighting rifles, what would they be? Number 1 will surprise nobody that's listened for a long time, a SCAR Heavy, a SCAR 17 308 battle rifle. I am blessed to have one of those. I've used it in real life on missions. It's a fantastic firearm. It is a good all-around rifle. In fact, if you said I could only have one rifle, period, and you didn't give me any caveats, that would be said rifle. It's equipped with a Trijicon AccuPoint. It's a phenomenal rifle. It's ridiculously accurate, despite the name heavy. It's only 7.7 pounds, which is very sleek and light compared to something like an M1A, which is like 9 pounds or something. It's a great rifle. So there you go. There's number 1. SCAR 17. Number 2 would probably be a Colt AR-15A4, 20-inch barrel, rifle length, 5.56. It has iron sights. It's also equipped with a LPVO. It's a great rifle. It's a good battle-proven platform. I used a very similar rifle in Iraq. It's fairly heavy for an AR-15, however, the ammunition is lighter. Also, it should be noted that I live in free America, right? The Intermountain West, like Wyoming, Idaho, Montana area. Things are a lot more wide open here, and there's really not many metropolitan areas. Big reason I live here, right? So that would probably be a 16-inch M4 type thing if I was living east of the Mississippi River for number 2. So there's that Colt AR-15A4. Rifle length, proper rifle. Now the next one is I'm going to put it in the rifle category, although legally it's a pistol, right? But it's actually a PSA, if you can believe that. But I got this as a beater rifle to train with when I was doing another private security contract where we shot a lot of rifle, and I was like, I want one of these just to beat up. And I bought it, and it really surprised me. I don't even remember what model it is, but it's one of these short, like, pistol brace, right? Braced pistol AR-15s. Thing is crazy accurate. I've done a few upgrades to it, which I probably didn't need to do, like a better extractor, or a different extractor, right? But it has given me zero problems, and I have shot it a lot. It's one of my wife's go-to rifles. She calls it her spanky rifle, right? She has to spank the side of it when she reloads, which is adorable. But she really likes that rifle. I like it. I've used it on real missions. Yeah, it's a PSA, but I trust it. It's a good rifle, and it's small, right? It's a pistol. I think it's I forget if it's a 10.5 or an 11.5, which is about as short as I'm comfortable with, because then you still get the carbine length gas system, which is pretty well proven. I don't have to mess around with like a pistol length gas system or anything. I give up some ballistics, but the reason I'm putting this here in the fighting rifle category is it's really light and handy. Again, I've used it on real missions where I might be on my feet for a long period of time. Or I might have to, stand to for 12 hours. So it's really nice for that. It's really nice to put in a bag. And it's still a 5.56. It's still lightweight ammunition. It's still a rifle caliber, right? You lose some ballistics in that shorter barrel, but it's not like a PCC, right? It's still pretty good. So I would make that my 3 for fighting rifles. And I'm going to try and keep this to guns that I actually own, right? Because I consider myself a survivalist, a prepper, and I don't shy away from that. So if I don't have it, why don't I have it, right? I'm blessed to have enough money that I can have the guns that I need and some of the guns that I want. So it should be something that I have. Now, if you said you wanted the Daniel Defense version, I wouldn't fault you for it. That PSA has been so good to me, I haven't felt the need to upgrade it to anything else heretofore. But those are the 3 fighting rifles. Now let's go to the 3 hunting rifles. Number 1, like if I could only have one, it's probably Ruger Guide Gun N.30-06. Stainless steel, controlled round feed, iron sights. 30-06. It really likes 180 grain solid coppers, TSXs, which are fantastic. But anything from a 220 grain round nose to, I hand load 125 grainers that are going pretty fast. 30-06 is the most flexible, in my opinion, a hunting cartridge at least. Not the best, all around cartridge. That would be 308 because it's got more tactical application. But best, most flexible hunting rifle. If you said, you could give me all the tags in the world, but I could only ever hunt, like any governor's tag or anything would be mine, but I could only ever hunt with that rifle, I would take that deal in a heartbeat, because the hard thing out west is getting tags, right? But it's a phenomenal rifle. It's accurate, it's rugged, it's reliable. Again, it's controlled round feed, it's stainless steel, it's iron sights. If I could only have a hunting rifle, it'd probably be that one. It's a bit heavy, but you didn't say I couldn't change a stock out if that's not cheating, right? I could probably get 2 stocks, and if I wanted it to be a bit lighter, I could put a polymer stock on it. It's got a laminate stock on it. It's the Ruger Guide Gun. It's phenomenal. Adjustable length of pull, which I really like. Most rifle stocks I feel are too long. They're for an old classic, shooting stance that I don't generally use anymore. Yeah, phenomenal. Good all around. Very flexible, very good rifle. I'm blessed to own it. Going through my rifles, the next one kind of surprises me, but it's going to be the SIG Cross. It's not your traditional looking hunting rifle, but it's phenomenal. It's 308. It is a push feed. But it's ridiculously accurate. It's very lightweight. I forget how light it is, but it's very light. It's very easy to handle it. It's got a folding stock. I actually really like that rifle, and I didn't know that I would when I got it, but it is really, really good. It's a good rifle. It is a push feed, so it's not my first choice for a lot of stuff, but man, it's a good rifle. And it's lightweight. It's got backup iron sights on it. It's got an LPVO. I could put a different optic on it if I wanted. I took my elk with it last year. It's phenomenal. It's a phenomenal rifle. I talked about weight. I live in the Rocky Mountains. I can cover thousands of feet of elevation in a day. That lighter rifle is pretty nice. And I'm really kind of struggling with number 3 because I'm blessed to have some really good hunting rifles, and hopefully I'll never have to live out this thought experiment where I have to narrow it down. Oh, one of the other reasons I should mention for me that I like the SIG Cross is I do a lot of shooting and training, as you might imagine, and have done in the past with AR-15s. And I like to shoot, CMP high power competitions and stuff. And the SIG Cross, though a bolt action, has a very similar manual of arms to the AR-15 that I'm used to. So it's an easy crossover for me. Kind of ironic the name is the Cross, but it's a phenomenal. I have the Trax model, the lightweight model, not the one with like all the fidget spinners for dudes on it, but just a very basic lightweight model, the SIG Cross Trax model in 308. Okay, I've thought about it. I think if I were going down to number 3, it would be the Remington 760. The Remington 760 is a phenomenal rifle. I kind of did not appreciate those for a really long time. I recently saw a good deal on one at a store. I got one, I've shot it, and it's phenomenal. I remember my uncle, who was one of the influences on me growing up and getting me into hunting and taking me hunting, he hunted with one. But I was kind of like, there's better stuff nowadays. Who wants that old thing? Which is kind of funny because I love Remington pump-action shotguns. I just shoot them really well. Anyway, I got this thing. I've shot it. I've dry fired with it a bunch. I've shot it. I've loaded for it. I've taken it hunting. It is a phenomenal rifle. And the reason I'm putting it in here is all the other ones are bolt actions that I've mentioned. This one is a pump action. It is crazy fast. It's faster than a bolt. It's faster than a lever action. And it's still in a proper rifle cartridge. It's in 30-06. Now, why I picked this one? I already have a 30-06. Well, because this one's faster. If I'm doing something where I want faster follow-up shots, then I would probably pick this rifle. It's a great rifle, and it's ridiculously accurate. I loaded like a subsonic load for it. I loaded like a light recoil load for it. There was a girl I was going to take hunting, and then it didn't work out. She had something come up in the family and couldn't do it. But a young girl wanted to go on her first hunt, so I thought I'd use this rifle. So I loaded some of those loads. But the first regular load I hand loaded for it shot under half MOA. Yeah, for a pump action rifle. Crazy accurate. And smooth and fast, and it handles well. So, yeah, that'd probably be my number 3 for a hunting rifle. Moving on, shotguns. I mentioned one rifle, but if you told me I could only have one long gun for the peanut butter and chocolate hitting the fan, you give me no caveats. You're like, you got to run out of the house right now. You can never come back. You can only grab one long gun. Well, it would be a shotgun. It wouldn't be a rifle because I can do both things fairly well with that. I can fight with it and I can put food on the table with it. And when it comes to flexibility, nothing rivals a shotgun for flexibility. So if I have no foreknowledge of the situation that I'm going into and I just have one long gun, the shotgun is the most logical thing to keep me alive. So this is what I would pick. And again, God willing, hopefully I'll never be put in that scenario. But if I do, it's probably going to be a shotgun. And this one is a fairly new development because before this I would have picked something else, but it's not even the most expensive shotgun that I have. But my number 1 pick would be the brand new Benelli Nova 3. The Benelli Nova is not new, but the version 3 is, and it's like the 922R1, the one that comes with the extended mag tube and all that stuff. Man, I really like that shotgun. And what puts it here is it's light. It's quite a bit lighter than my Mossberg 590S. It's quite a bit lighter than that. So, yeah. It's a phenomenal shotgun. I took my turkey with it this year. It's a good... And shotguns, I'm only going to pick 3 total because shotguns are... there's a difference between a bird hunting shotgun and a fighting shotgun. But I'm only going to pick 3 for shotguns because there's a lot more crossover. Unless you're talking about shooting moving birds, which I do like a tactical shotgun and a turkey shotgun, they're pretty close, right? Ammunition's obviously different, but a good lightweight shotgun with an iron sight or an optic on it, which my Benelli Nova 3 has a Trigicon RMR on the top, the dual illuminated that doesn't take batteries, tritium and fiber optic. It's phenomenal. It's got backup iron sights. It's lightweight. I can't emphasize that enough. If it's this kind of scenario, lightweight's a big advantage. It shoots well, it handles well, it's accurate with slugs. It's got interchangeable chokes, right? Why would I not? I think they make a model without interchangeable chokes. Get the one with chokes. It's right. Why would you not get interchangeable chokes? But yeah, it's a phenomenal shotgun. That'd be my number one pick, which surprises even me. Because up until recently, it would have been something else. Now, my number two pick, I've had for quite a while, and I've had several Benellis, several Benelli semi-autos, but the number two, I think, is one of the best all-arounds for me. I've had the Benelli M4 for a straight door-kicking shotgun. It's really good, but it's heavy. I like the Benelli M2. It's a good mix. I have two different barrels for it. I have a good hunting barrel, and I have a good tactical barrel. It's a phenomenal shotgun. It's semi-auto, so if I want that faster rate of fire, it's there. It's an inertia gun. It's not a gas gun like I like Berettas, but Berettas are generally gas guns, which means they crap where they eat. Not a big fan of that. If I can have an inertia gun like the Benelli that doesn't, have holes in the barrel that puts dirty gas and stuff back in the action. I like the Benelli. It's got a little bit more recoil, but I like it. The Benelli M2. I have the Benelli M2. I've got it with a field barrel. I've got it with a rifle-sighted barrel. It's really accurate as well with slugs. I took my elk with it the year before this one. It's a good all-around shotgun. It's phenomenal. It's fairly lightweight compared to like a Benelli M4, which is honestly a better door-kicking shotgun, but the Benelli M2, really good, really versatile. The number three is going to be an 870, but it's going to be a 20 gauge. Why? Because I do like hunting small game and bird hunting and stuff like that, and I've already got two 12 gauges on here. So that Remington 870 20 gauge, it's also like my wife's go-to hunting shotgun. So there's that, right? The Remington 870 20 gauge. They're light, they're handy, they're, rugged and reliable, just like the 12 gauge version. Really good shotgun. It's still plenty enough, right, with slugs and buckshot and stuff like that, but it's my number three pick. But I think it makes sense to have a smaller gauge shotgun. Now, how about we go to handguns? Ooh. Obviously, my number one pick should be my go-to carry gun, right? Because I should be carrying the best gun that I know of for survival. Because that's what am I doing if I'm not doing that, right? Am I gonna let some HR lady tell me that I'm not allowed to carry at work or something dumb? I actually get paid to carry at work because I'm a private security contractor. But the excuse that's all I can carry, all right, whatever. But my go-to carry gun is my number one pick, and it is a Sig Sauer P226 single action only. I'm certainly not going to pick a plastic striker fired for my number one pick. Are you kidding me? No, it's going to be a 226. They're legendary reliability. They're phenomenal guns. Mine's optics cut. Mine's actually the ZevTech version. I do have different upper assemblies for it, if you want to call it that, like different barrels and slides to put on it if I want. But if I were only going to pick one, it'd probably be the one with the dual illuminated, again, Trigicon RMR that doesn't take batteries. But the barrel either way, it's good. I also have like a SIG optic on one. They're both very good. But the SIG 226 single action only, right? Because the person that's trying to kill me may not give me more time. Right? May not give me all the time in the world. Single action only with a thumb safety. I like handguns with a manual safety. I know a bunch of tactical commando YouTubers will probably scoff at that, but I like a manual safety on a handgun. So that would be my number one pick. And if I could only have one handgun, it'd be that one. Now, my number two pick. Ooh, it's tough. It'd probably be my STI Staccato. Now they're Staccato. They're STI when I got them. But the one that I would pick would be the Marauder. It's the STI, the 2011, an actual 2011, not like some cheap Turkish knockoff, but an actual 2011, phenomenal. They're probably the best CONUS, Continental United States handgun that you can have. I carried one on duty way before they were the tactical trend, when like nobody knew what they were. They've been around a long, long time, right? STI's been around for decades. They've recently become hot in the last couple of years. Everybody jumps on the bandwagon like there's something new, but they've been around a long time. I've had mine a long time. I've carried it on duty. I've carried it on missions, private security contractor. As the commander of a tactical team to stop active shooters in a large metropolitan area, it was my go-to fighting handgun. It's phenomenal. The reason it's number 2 is that it doesn't do as well with neglect. Like, you got to take care of it. You got to tune it. It's not crazy, but you got to really put the time and care and attention into it. So it would be my number 2, but in an environment where I can reasonably clean it, every couple hundred rounds or, once a month, it's a phenomenal gun. It's smooth. It's great. It's fast. It's so fast. I've mentioned previously that I'm a multi-time state champion pistol shooting. I actually got 3rd place at a national match, which is not easy to do with STI 2011. I forget if it was the Marauder or another one. I have 2. And I had some pretty significant time penalties. Not because I didn't shoot well, because I don't listen to rules well. Shocker. But I stepped over a line or something, and it cost me some massive amounts of time. But I shoot really well with that gun. I'm very blessed to have that gun. It's a phenomenal firearm. I have 2. I'd probably pick the Marauder, probably because it's just more set up as like a fighting gun. My other one's more set up as a competition gun. So that might have been the one that I used when I got 3rd place at nationals. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. They're fast. They're smooth. They're sweet shooting. They're phenomenal guns. So my second one would be a 2011. Mine would be the Marauder, which they don't make anymore. But the modern version of that is the Staccato XL. They make like one regular size 1911. All the other ones are babies now. I don't know why they've done that, but right, if you're going to get a 1911, why are you not going to get a full size 1911? Anyway, the modern iteration of that would be the Staccato XL, but the STI Marauder, that'd be my number 2. My number 3, if I could only have 3 handguns, if I'm not going to break it down into subcategories, would be, this will make a lot of people happy, a revolver. Yay! It's when I don't carry a full-size fighting handgun on my hip like a man, when it just doesn't make sense. Like when I'm doing wind sprints, when I'm working out, things like that, I will often carry a smaller handgun or as a backup gun. And that's going to be the Smith & Wesson 360 PD. 357 Magnum Scandium frame. It's 11 point something ounces. 11 point something ounces. That's crazy light. It's 5 rounds of 357 Magnum or 38 Special. Honestly, I generally carry it with 38 Special on it because I'm a lot faster with follow-up shots. But the 360 PD, it's phenomenal. I've had the gun a long time. It looks like it. It's a good go-to. But talking about like as a backup gun, if I'm out hunting and I've got a full-powered rifle and I just want something else in my pocket so I have another gun, something like that, or a non-permissive environment, it's a really good, and I don't have a lot of smaller handguns because I generally carry a full-size fighting handgun. But that Smith & Wesson 360 PD would be a hard one to part with. It's just so light and so handy and so convenient. You can fall asleep with it in your pocket, in a sleeping bag, like in a pair of shorts, and it's right there. It's light, it's handy, it's small. And it's still 357. So, that would be my number 3. Now I'm going to put all 22s. I could easily make this easier for me and break it into 22 rifles and 22 handguns, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to break this into just 22s. I pick 3 22s. The first one's going to be a Ruger 1022 Takedown. Now I'm taking all sentimentality out of this because I have a Ruger 1022 that's the gun I've had the longest, owned the longest. I've had it since before I was legally allowed to buy guns, right? I've had that gun a long time. But taking nostalgia out of it, taking sentimental out of it, it'd be the Ruger 1022 Takedown. I have that gun. It's just as accurate, I believe, as my other 1022s. It's a takedown. But if we're talking about a, boiling down, condensing, an arsenal, it makes sense to have a takedown gun, right? It's a good backpack gun. Talking about non-permissive environments, it's just as good and capable as a regular Ruger 1022, which is legendary. It also doubles as a training rifle. That's a main thing that I do with my 22s. I train with them. If I'm practicing, rifle fundamentals, I can do that with a 22 for most things. If I don't want to spend the money on, shooting 100 rounds of 30-06 to work on my kneeling position, right, I can shoot a 22. So it'd be that Ruger 1022 takedown. Now for handguns, my number 2 for the Rimfire would be a Ruger Mark IV 2245 Tactical. I've had that gun a while, and I've had a lot of the earlier iterations of that, but the Ruger Mark IV really is way, way better than the Mark I, II, and III. Just from the simple fact, if you shoot a lot and you've ever disassembled a Ruger Mark something prior to the Mark IV, it's an exercise in frustration. It's just a giant pain. And if you shoot rimfire a lot, it gets nasty. The Ruger Mark IV is a big step up, and it's got a similar grip angle, unlike the Mark IV standard. It's got a funky grip angle. So the 2245 is a lot more like a 1911, which I'm used to, or a SIG 226. So I have that one. I've got the tactical, not that you need the tactical, but I have it. It's a really good trainer, especially for faster handguns like that SIG 226 or the 2011. It's a really, really good, accurate, good for handgun fundamentals, good for speed shooting. That'd probably be my 22 handgun. It's got a little bit different manual of arms, so I'd have to give that up because my number 3 is going to go back. I waffled back and forth on this one, but my next one's going to be a rifle, and it's kind of a surprise, even to me, but thinking about it, it makes a lot of sense. And it's going to be I don't even know who makes it, but it's an old Soviet. It may be a CZ, an old Soviet. It's got, Cyrillic writing on it, which I can't read. I got it at a good deal at a used gun store, just like, it looks pretty cool. I'll pick it up. But it is a Soviet trainer rifle, 22 long rifle. It's a bolt action. It's got iron sights. It also has been drilled and tapped for an optic, which may hurt the collector value, but I'm not really a collector. So I was glad that it had modern scope mounts on it. So I've got an optic on it, so I can do my iron sight fundamental practice with it. I have the optic on it. It's also really accurate. And it's a bolt action, which means I can shoot short longs or long rifles or calibres if I want to be quiet without having this, the ridiculousness of spending $1,000 on a $40 suppressor to look cool on Instagram. Like, I can put, quieter loads in there and just shoot it because it's got a longer barrel and it's quiet. And I don't have to worry about all the other stupidness, not to mention the goofy-looking suppressor on the end of a gun. I'm not trying to look cool on Instagram. I don't even have Instagram, right? But I could shoot short longs or long rifles out of it, which is pretty handy. Could shoot the calibres out of it. I don't need I'm glad, a semi-auto was my number 1 choice, but I like the option of shooting less powerful rounds. It's very accurate. It's also a very good small game hunting rifle for rabbits, squirrels, if I'm not worried about fish and game laws because it's the apocalypse. Also, a lot of fowl, which is usually illegal to hunt with a rifle nowadays, like quail and dove and waterfowl, things like that could easily be taken with a 22 if it were legal. It's a great small game hunting rifle. And since that's a pretty obscure gun that I got just because it was a good deal and it just happened to be a really good shooter, very dependable rifle, you could look at like a Savage or a CZ, which actually I had a CZ, one of the new CZ 22s, and I didn't like it as much. I got rid of it. But one of the modern like CZs or like a Savage bolt action 22 or Ruger American 22 bolt action, Rimfire, the American Rimfire, I think they call it, something like that. You could switch out for that if you were looking. So yeah, those are my picks for an arsenal. I'm very blessed to own some very nice guns, as you've heard in this episode. I've also blessed it it's my profession. I've been a professional gunfighter most of my adult life, hence the name of the show, right? That's how, by God's grace, I put food on the table for my family. That's what I do. That's what I have done, whether it's military, law enforcement, private security contracting, which I actually like better than both of those. And I've been a hunter for a long time, putting food on the table for my family. Like the old school way, like going out slaying a beast and putting it on the table, not just going to Walmart and buying something wrapped in cellophane. I'll do that. I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I do that largely because it would be illegal for me to get enough meat to feed my family otherwise. I'll be honest, growing up, being honest, as a poor boy in the South, I poached. I just went out and shot stuff to eat. But, if I'm going to abide by the fish and game and stuff laws, I still have to go to the store and buy meat. So until those laws are changed, or they no longer apply because there's no government or whatever, I still enjoy doing it. I really love hunting, not just for putting meat on the table. I really enjoy going out and stalking spot and stalk and still hunting and, tracking down an elk or a beast of the field, putting it on the table. I really enjoy that. So I have some really nice hunting rifles. And it's part of the reason I do this podcast, right? Real world first-hand experience. I don't know what's trending right now on TikTok, or do they even let guns on TikTok? I don't know. I don't have TikTok. I don't know if they even let guns on there. But I don't know what's trending on whatever social media platform or whatever, ChatGPT is recommending. I have no idea. I try and stay away from that crap too. I think it's bad for humanity, artificial intelligence. I think it's making you stupider. And I don't mean you specifically. I mean the royal you. Everybody, right? I think it's making probably people less intelligent and critical thinking as a species. But that's a rabbit hole for another time. But I don't really care what's trending. I care what's effective. I love guns for the art, for a lot of things, right? But I primarily see them as practical tools to defend life, other people's, as much as my own, because you shall love your neighbor as yourself, and to put food on the table. So I come at it from mostly a practical perspective. With that, let's start rolling into the tactical tip of the day. We talked a bit about rifles. A lot of rifles will have hollow compartments in which to store things. A lot of the AR-15 variants, you can either get a grip plug to go into the pistol grip, or they just come that way, like Magpols. A lot of theirs, they'll just have a grip plug in there. You can put important stuff in there so it's always on the rifle. It's like line one gear for your rifle. Something like a spare extractor, if it's like an AR-15, where they're known to break. It's one of the shortcomings of the AR-15. But something like that, a small thing of CLP to stay in there, like cut a toothbrush so it's just long enough to fit in there for cleaning the weapon. Things like that. And if it rattles around, you put an extra set of earplugs or two in there, because you might want those anyway, right? But some other tactical tips, you can make that, right? If you're not worried about collector value, you can take that, Winchester Model 70 with the wood stock, and you can take the recoil pad off, and you can take a big drill, like a 5/8 drill bit or a 1-inch drill bit, and drill big holes in the stock from the back so you can't see it from the outside, but it's hollow, and you can put stuff in there. You could put in an extra round. You could put in a bore snake. You could put in, again, some CLP or some ballistol or whatever it is, so that you have that stuff on the rifle. So if you do find yourself with just the rifle, at least you have some of the support gear for it. So that's your tactical tip of the day. Your tactical verse of the day, since we talked about you shall love your neighbor as yourself, right? You shall not hate your brother in your heart. You shall surely rebuke your neighbor and not bear sin because of him. You shall not take vengeance nor bear any grudge against the children of your people, but you shall love your neighbor as yourself. It's from Leviticus 19. A lot of people only quote that last part, but there's a lot more to it than that. But you shall love your neighbor as yourself. There's also another verse that there's a lot of different translations, obviously, but the one that clicks with me the most is the translation that says, "You shall not stand idly by while somebody takes the life of your neighbor." Yeah. Obviously that resonates with me because of, who God made me and what I do for a living. But yeah, things to ponder. With that, thanks for listening and have a blessed day.